Aaron here from Envision Eden, Cyclics 2. That there I kept just like Cyclics 1, just kept it in A Aeolian, so we don't have to think about modality and we can just focus on the techniques. Here I was jumping fifths in the beginning and just running octaves. So started with the A, of course, and then I jumped to the E, and so I'm down, and then I'm up, and then down on the C, and then up on the G. So that kind of thing. Then you go up to the octave of the A, do the same thing there. Jumping fifth, same intervals, go up an octave again, down, up. So I have, and then I jump up to the B in the scale, and then I do kind of a flat fifth jump, which is the F. And there's a little jump there when you go to the D note, and then to A, so the octaves, right? Same thing there. And then back to, there I just did the patterns all on that two strings, and then jump an octave. And then the end of that sequence is E to the A string to the D string, and you're just starting with that first note on each of those strings. If you speed it up, something like that, you know, you'll get the flow once you speed it up. Derived from a boat motor exercise that my old friend, great guitar player too, Carl Morghese, showed me what he called the boat motor, and that's what that's derived from. It kind of sounds like a boat motor if you muffle it. You know, that kind of sound. But you're just going up the sequence. You're just climbing in that pattern. Now after that, I just go up 6. And then I just pull off all the way down the pattern. Now here I start in Aeolian, and then I just kind of shift into kind of like a Mixolydian pattern. So basically something like that. So you just climb the 6 first, and you just kind of feel that as well. It's a little difficult, and I try to slow it down too sometimes, you know, just to make sure. make sure your, you know, your pull-offs and all that are even. So then when I get to that point, then I start ascending with tapping, okay? And it's just based on the A pentatonic. So we're getting outside of Aeolian or natural minor. And we're just tapping, basically 3-finger tapping, Eddie Van Halen style, right? And then I just kind of basically do 2 notes. I'd add the blue note, you know, right? And then I go up to the flat 5, and which is the flat 5th of A, okay, which is E flat, and that's the blue note again on the A string. And then I just basically am tapping them here. So I'm tapping the G note and then up to the A. So it's right? And then I just do the same thing, an octave up. So, and then oh, there we go. Simple enough, right? And then I go up an octave again, do the same thing there. All the way up. And then when I get to that peak there, then I turn it around, and here I actually begin the sequence with tapping onto that, what is it, a G note there? And then I'm using the E and the flat 5. So I'm using the blue note and the E note, the 5th. And then I'm basically pulling off from the G note. I'm hammering on, pulling off from the G to that E flat, and then I'm hammering on to the E, and then I'm hammering back on to the G, and then hammering on to the A, pulling off to the G, pulling off to the E, and pulling off to the E flat. So it's here I'm pulling off, I'm hammering first, and I'm hammering on to the D note, and then I'm actually pulling off to the A, and then hammering back onto the C, and then from the D I'm hammering onto that, the blue note, the E flat. And then I do the same thing, an octave there, and then, so the three octaves are, so you got going up, now here I'm just, so hammering here, pulling off here, doubling that, and then basically using that blue note below to hammer off or pull off to. Now there I just keep it in the pentatonic. So it's something like that anyway. So I'm actually always going down to that next string for the last note. So I have something like that. And then, so I got, so I'm always hammering onto that one string. And then I basically go to same type of thing here. But here I'm just hammering back up. Then I just tap octaves of the pentatonic scale. So string skip, so it's just tapping there. And I just ended it on that one. I didn't actually go up to the high E in the sequence. And you can even kind of give it some vibrato up there. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. Then I'm like D, C, B, D, C, B, D, C, B, D, C, B. Then I changed this one to basically alternating. Kind of an Yngwie. But I'm actually pulling back down to keep the sequence cyclical. You know? And then I'm actually, instead of jumping to starting with the third note there, then I start with the second note. And so here I'm just going. So there's 3 different ways, or 4 different ways anyways, you're playing 3-note patterns. Up, backwards, starting with your third note, starting with the second note, and then I just turn them around towards the top, and I start backwards, and then I go up, right? And then I start with the second note leading, right? And then I do third note leading at the end. So I just kind of shuffled them up a bit so my brain would have to, you know, flip out to try to keep up. And the very end is just minor 7 arpeggio. So D minor 7 here, up above on like the 17th fret. So I'm then the A minor 7, same pattern, then end with the D minor 7. So we got one more. That's it. Good luck. See you next time.